But at that moment, like I was always asking myself like one question, like it was like, how do I protect my team? Like, how do I make sure that they continue to work, that they still have a career path, and that there is going to be a future in this organization? So I felt the responsibility to say, it's not just about me, but it's about the people that are working with me. So instead of like stopping everything, we have decided to ask ourselves a different question. So how we can continue bringing people together.
Welcome to the Uplift Her Leadership Series, a segment on the Self Care Goddess podcast, a special space where holistic self care meets high performance and the feminine leads with grace, power, and purpose. This podcast is your pause in a productivity driven world, a space to reset, regulate, and reconnect with feminine wisdom and visionary leadership. I'm your host, Rita Savoya, holistic nutritionist, trauma informed breathwork coach, and founder of Breathwork Barista. Each week, you'll hear soul expanding stories and thought provoking conversations with women leaders, founders, and change makers who are redefining success and what it means to lead with heart. These are the conversations we need to create the future we desire, rooted in self-care, integrity, and soul-aligned leadership. Breathe in your power, breathe out the overwhelm, and let's begin. Hello, hello, and welcome to another episode of the Self Care Goddess podcast, but the Uplift Her Leadership Series segment. Super excited for our next guest to come on and just talk about her journey and share with us some awesome tips. But before we start, as you know, on this podcast, we walk the talk. So I invite you to take just 2 minutes out of your busy day and join us, if you can, lowering your gaze or even closing your eyes to really tune out the world for just these couple of minutes, perhaps with your spine as straight as comfortable, uncrossing your arms and legs, and just relaxing any part of your body that is feeling tight or a little bit of tension. So we do this by allowing the exhales to flow to that part of the body. So breathing a little deeper than usual with your inhales through the nose. And then allowing a slight sigh through the mouth and channeling that exhale to that area of the body that you might be feeling some stiffness or tension. And just inviting a little bit more softening to that part of the body that's maybe inviting you for some attention. Just keep inhaling and slowly, a little bit slower than your inhales, exhaling to that part of the body. One more inhale and then exhale. Now I invite you to breathe in and out of your heart area. So imagine the breaths flowing in, expanding the heart, and then out of your heart area. Where attention goes, energy flows. So let's energize this beautiful organ that's keeping you alive, showing gratitude and appreciation. And as we continue these heart-focused breaths, I now invite you to visualize someone that you're grateful for today. Living or past, visualize this person as if they were right here in front of you. And I invite you to send them all the love, the gratitude, and the appreciation for being in your life. On your next inhale, bring that gratitude and appreciation, send it back to yourself, to your heart, for being here, taking some time out of your busy day, listening to this amazing information, sharing it with someone who may really benefit from it. On your next inhale, flutter your eyes open and come back to us. Thank you for participating in that quick coherence technique from the Heart Math Institute. Super quick way to just get yourself and into coherence, your heart, your mind, and your body. So today's guest is someone who quite literally knows how to bring people together on a massive scale. With over 14 years of experience producing international film festivals, public events, and cultural programs across Canada, they've mastered the art of turning bold ideas into unforgettable experiences. As director of operations for the ICFF, Lavazza Inclusivity Festival, she oversees multi-million dollar budgets, global partnerships, and productions that attract more than 250,000 attendees each year. From international film collaborations to youth education programs and large-scale community celebrations, she works in the powerful intersection of culture, creativity, and connection. Today, actually, she holds an MBA, serves on boards including George Brown College and the University of Guelph Humber, and is widely recognized for building inclusive multicultural programming that generates real tourism, community engagement, and economic impact. But beyond the logistics and leadership, there's a little speed and adventure in the mix too. Because when she's not producing festivals, you might find her riding her Ducati, exploring the world, or unwinding with a perfect gelato after a long day of connecting with people and culture. And if her life was a soundtrack, think Queen, Don't Stop Me Now, blended with Bon Jovi's It's My Life, a perfect mix of unstoppable energy and fearless independence. Please help me welcome Mara Cataldi. How are you today? Welcome to the show.
Hi, Rita. Thank you so much. It was so helpful to breathe. Like I need to save your recording and maybe having every morning before beginning my busy day at work. Like reconcile with yourself and breathe in and breathe out. Very helpful. Thank you, Rita.
Yes, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. Yes, these 2-3 minutes are just
Wow.
amazing to
Yes.
reset. That's how
Yes.
fast
It does
it can
reset
be.
your brain.
It's so true. So tell me a little bit more about this amazing personal journey that you're on, and sort of the what's influenced the mission that you're currently on today.
Thank you, first of all, for the introduction and for having me in your podcast. It's really an honor and a pleasure to have this talk with you and to share it with others. So, my personal journey is not unique in the sense that as an immigrant in Canada, maybe it's pretty similar to many other journey, but it really shaped the way I think about culture and collaboration. So I grew up moving between different cultures and different languages, and that experience really made me realize very early in my journey how powerful storytelling and the art is to connect people. So when you do understand more than one culture, in my case, of course, you can hear from my accent the Italian culture and the Canadian one. You also start seeing how much we actually share, like how much two different cultures actually share. And the idea guide my work and my festival like on a daily operation. So with ICFF, the mission has always been creating somehow a platform where people can discover each other cultures, each other ideas, each other perspective. Building what the festival is nowadays, it really like reflect on my personal journey in bringing two culture together.
So beautiful. What were some of the similarities of the culture that, because I'm an immigrant myself, I was 8 years
Mhm.
old when I came to Canada. What are some of the similarities that you found between the Italian and Canadian culture?
Almost none. No, I'm just
I was going to say yes, because I know there's a lot of differences.
they are very different cultures. So likely, I mean, Canada is such a beautiful, like multicultural country. So at the end of the day, talking about a Canadian culture is very it's complicated. Like at the end of the day, this country is made by many different cultures that come together and they made what this beautiful country has to offer. But definitely coming in such a like multicultural city, very crowded, very big, in constant, let's say, evolution. Like I'm coming from Rome. Rome, it's somehow living into its bubble. Like it's a beautiful cultural bubble that stays as it is since many years. And I came into a city that is always changing. It's very dynamic. It's moving, it's moving, it's moving. So I have to learn that this movement was positive, and that I had to embrace the movement also in my
Mhm.
personal life, as well as on a social perspective. So speed up. We need to work, we need to move, we need to evolve. It's a lot of evolution involved.
It's true. You're so right. Although Rome is probably one of the quickest or maybe more movement of the cities
Yes.
in Italy. So comparing it with the rest of Italy, but yes,
But
that
every
is a
time
good
in
point.
Rome, you're trying to do something modern, something different. There is always that. The group of people that are like, no, should be as it is. We cannot touch
Um,
anything. The
hmm.
beauty is in this history, in his heart. So it's really tough to change this much in such a like metropolitan city as is Toronto, from a very
Right.
like cultural and historic city as Rome it is.
Yeah, I love that. I've never thought of it in that way, in terms of Toronto being that fast moving and constantly changing and
Yeah.
evolving, and embracing that change, right? And then from someone like you, sort of keeping up with that and always having to do something new to keep up with the movement of
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
So can you share a pivotal moment in your career, Mara, when you faced a major challenge? And how did you overcome it? Because these are the conversations that, there's one person out there that listens to this and maybe has a similar situation or not, but listens to the how you overcome it and or came it, and then gets an idea or gets inspired. So I love to hear if there were any major challenges in throughout your career.
So I must say that probably this was a challenge and a difficult moment for everyone around the world. So, and of course, I'm talking about the pandemic, and that was the moment in which I need to reinvent myself and I need to reinvent what the festival is nowadays. So, like many cultural organizations, like we were suddenly face a situation where we needed to decide what to do, and the possibility of shutting everything down was around the corner. So festival around the world were canceling their program, and the safe and probably the safest decision would it be for me to like pause and wait. But at that moment, like I was always asking myself like one question, like it was like, how do I protect my team? Like how do I make sure that they continue to work, that they still have a career path, and that there is going to be a future in this organization. So I felt the responsibility to say, it's not just about me, but it's about the people that are working with me. So instead of like stopping everything, we have decided to ask ourselves a different question. So how we can continue bringing people together, although the moment is so critical. So I don't know if you're familiar with what was the festival during that time, but we decided to launch the Lavazza Driving Festival. So it was a very huge logistic challenge, and it became so popular in the city. So for us, what was from a very like sad moment on a social perspective became somehow a new form of like a reborn for the festival. So we had to rethink about the experience 100%, how we can bring people together in a moment in which theater are closed, everything is closed down. So how do we bring people together? So we have to, of course, I have to navigate a legal battle, convincing the government to let me do this project and trust me that I was gonna proceed in a way that it was safe for
Right.
the society. So
Yeah, I
for
loved it. I participated in it. I loved it.
you
It was
bet.
so cool. Yeah, I'm
I'm
like, bring
glad you
it
were there.
back. Bring it back. Yeah.
So of course, like when I remember that I jumped into a meeting with the Ontario government, and for them, of course, the priority was like for us is the health crisis, like have everybody safe. But on my perspective was also we need to think about the mental health, we need to think about bringing people together. It's not just a health crisis, it's also like a mental health crisis. So people needs to embrace that social environment, although of course do it in a very safe way. So that moment was from a very critical moment where I thought I need to shut the festival down became actually like a very positive and like changing moment in my career and in the festival future. So the ICFF was born as an ethnic festival that was just focusing on Italian culture, Italian cinema. And with the drive-in, we decided instead to present movie from around the world, from the city that were most hit by the pandemic, as a celebration, as to say, we're here all together. It's a tough moment where we're still stronger together. So, and the festival so transformed into from an Italian film festival to a more like a multicultural platform and a celebration for the entire city. So that one was really like the moment where my career changed. So from a very cultural festival, we became what the festival is right now, 250,000 people every year. A festival that is embraced not just from the Italian community, but from everybody. So in many ways, the difficult moment become like a turning point for me to grow and for my organization to grow.
Yeah, that's incredible. That is beautiful. What a beautiful story. Because there were a lot of incredible stories that came out of that very
Yeah.
sad, dark time. And with so I started my business in 2020, and part of my 6 pillars. So I have 6 pillars of self-care, which can be 6 pillars of health, pillars of mental health, longevity, authentic connection to yourself and to others. So here I am, everyone's saying the opposite, distance yourself. And I'm like, no, we have to come together, right? We got to connect with others because we are human beings, right? So
We need that.
we need that connection. So I'm so happy that you did it, and look what came through it. So let me ask you, were there moments when you were going through this, were there moments of, oh my God, this is not going to work? This is like or you were like, no, I'm focused. This is going to work. This is like, just kind of let's go back to how you were feeling and what courage you had to say, no, this is what we're going to do, because it was risky, right?
Oh, it was risky. I've received so many no, like proposing to
Mm,
the city of Toronto, all level of province government on a federal level, presenting the project and receiving a no after no, like it's not possible, it is not possible, it is unsafe, and so creating multiple plan, safety plan, artistic plan, like I remember that I went to the first meeting with the Ontario Place that where we hosted the drive-in, and they said our project for the next couple of years will be just cutting the grass, no activities. And I was like, no, the
wow.
Toronto needs something to do. We need to
Yeah.
get something. And the drive-in is at the end of the day was extremely safe. You stay
Yeah.
into your bubble. So
Yeah.
for me, it was a constant battle in explaining other that was something that we needed to be risky but in a safety way. Like when I'm
Yeah.
talking about risk, it was not a risk in a sense that, oh, I'm gonna put some other people on a
Mm-mm.
risk, where it was more like, let's be creative, we can do that. As long as we decided together that is something doable, we can
Mm-hmm.
navigate those challenges. So
Yeah.
it wasn't easy, but at the end of the day, we put that beautiful driving together, and that was also used by other festivals as well. So it kind of gave that the sense of community again here in Toronto. And as you just said, like we need it. We are human beings. We cannot stay by
Mm-hmm.
ourselves enclosed in 4 walls inside our apartments. And it's something
Mm-hmm.
that I'm still battling nowadays. Like creating a cultural event. I'm always saying that my main competitors are not other festival or other activities. It's more like your couch, like you being at home with your fridge and your couch and watching a movie by yourself. So my first challenge is like, I want to bring you outside. I want to make you experience some great times with others, because sharing emotions, Sharing times together is what, as a human being, we really need.
Exactly. And it's sharing that energy, being in the same energetic field as
Yeah.
like-minded people or not like-minded people, just in general. Yeah, I completely agree with you. So in terms of, I just want to go back to this because this is incredible what you did, right? And I honestly bring it back. I thought it was so cool, like the drive-in experience. So cool. I'm like, I love this. Um, when you heard all those no's, again, like what was going through your head? What made you say, yeah, I'm still going to go through with this? Was it, I don't know, was it a quote? Was it a book? Was it something was it a vision that you had? I'm just curious because it took a lot of courage to do it.
Well, the vision definitely helped. So sometimes when
Mm,
I felt like, okay, I'm not gonna make it, okay, it's not gonna happen, I needed like to step back, refocus and saying, okay, those are just some small no's, but I can try
mm,
to find other ways to
yeah.
to reach my final goal. And what helped me, of course, was this project was not just a me project. As I was saying before, I was doing for my team. I felt the responsibility to to carry on with a project that was maintaining their job position. I didn't want to say, okay, there is nothing that I can do. You stay home. Let's see what's gonna happen in
Mhm.
a couple of years. I felt
That's
the
beautiful.
responsibility on a social perspective, like as a person that works for arts and culture, I always feel that my main goal is a social goal. So I felt like that I needed to fight to make that happen. And with regards of a book, I had the pleasure to read a book written by Chris Voss. That is the title is Never Split the Difference. It's a book about negotiation, and it really opens your eyes with regards of everything related to negotiation and understanding that negotiation is not just about your goal, but also understanding the needs of the person that is in front of you. So it was really that book really helped me in understanding, okay, so I do understand your points, government of Ontario, I do understand your points, city of Toronto, and I'm here to listen to your needs, but let's try to find a common ground. And then what really helped me to navigate those no and transforming those no into, okay, let's do it.
That's beautiful. Thank you for that. We compile these recommended reads and then we share it at the end of the season. So perfect. Yeah, I love that. So having all of this, and maybe not that particular time of your career, but have you experienced burnout? And if so, what are some symptoms that maybe we can watch out for if it's so that we know that it might be happening? Because sometimes, or no, oftentimes when it comes to burnout, it's too late. Once you're burnt out, you've already in it. So then if we can have some sort of pre-sequel symptoms, that can warn us if we're going into that direction.
So of course, I feel the burnout. I mean, I think that everyone in a position of a leadership role, especially I feel like in the cultural sector where is always like a battle about reaching the budget, bringing people together. We kind of face moment of burnout at some point, 100%. The work is intense, and but at the same time, I really care about the goal of my work. So there is a lot of like emotion and a lot of fatigue attached to my day to day work. So I mean, sometimes there are weeks in which I just hope I like, oh my God, I hope I'm gonna receive a good news. I need that good news coming from the outside that will give me that type of adrenaline and a positive moment that boosts a little bit of my energy. But often I do understand that energy comes from the people around me. So sometimes I'm looking for this energy coming from the outside, but most of the times I do understand that I just need to look at my team, and how passionate they are for the project as well, how committed they are. And sometimes their enthusiasm brings me some energy back. And I hope that my goal and my enthusiasm will give my energy to them when they need it. So it's really trying to create a circle of energy, and that we can share with the people that are working with us, but even our families and friends that are around us.
Yes, that's so true. Yes. And so how do you balance I don't know, do you believe in work-life balance? Do you think I know, right? Is there such a thing? Is it more prioritizing? But how do you balance this leadership role with your personal life? What are some tips you can provide?
Rita, I would love to say that I know the solution, that I know the ingredients, that I have the recipe to
Yeah.
balance. So I don't have it yet. To be fully honest, I'm still learning how to balance those two things. So I would love to say that I found the perfect formula, but it's something that I'm still struggling with, and I need to figure it out, how to create the perfect balance. So I need to learn how to create my personal life and building somehow my personal space, because especially when you feel like it's your work is your own project, your brain never stop working. So
I
it's
know.
tough to
Yeah.
unplug your brain and just say, okay, let's put it on one side. I need to relax. I need to debrief. It's very tough to achieve. So still working on it, Rita. It's not an easy answer.
Yeah,
It's a
it's so
balance that
true.
I'm still learning.
Yeah, it's so true. Even me, I mean, when you're so passionate about it, I go to sleep with ideas, I wake up with ideas, and I just can't shut it off. And your brain, actually, I did a video on this too on my YouTube channel. Your brain gets addicted to that. And it just,
Yes.
because there's that dopamine hit, and you were
Yeah.
just so used to being on and activating. But that's why that rest time has to be scheduled in. It has to
Mhm.
be like it, just the way you schedule this podcast, the meetings you have, like literally schedule a 30-minute walk or
I
whatever.
agree with you.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be a spa. You don't need to spend 3 hours in a spa. It can
No.
literally be even this breath work, like literally 5 minutes of breath work. Go in the bathroom, nobody's asked to see you.
Yes.
When you're in there in the stall, like you can do it, right? Like 5 minutes, and then you sort of build up. But yes, one thing about us, high performing leaders, especially women, is that we can't consider rest as non-productive, because many of us have that,
So
right?
true.
That when you're resting, you're not being productive, but actually rest is recovery. And if you think of like athletes, professional athletes, people that are doing weight training, right? They need that rest state in order for the muscle to actually build. So we need that
Absolutely.
rest day to recover. So I just, that's my message. If anything, if anyone is out there experiencing the same thing, but listen, I'm with you. It's hard to do when you're so passionate about it. It's so
Yes,
hard,
yes. It's the
Because that,
passion that
yes,
like
that
to feel like I'm so
adrenaline.
passionate that I don't feel that I'm working because I'm following my
Yes.
passion. But they're like, no, but you need to take some moment for yourself. You need to take a break. But it's tough.
Yes,
But I will follow your
exactly.
suggestion for sure.
No worries, no worries. So in terms of what does self-care look like for you now that we're talking about taking care of ourselves? So what are let me be the top three things that you do for you?
Three things that I do for myself. So definitely my work is a lot social. It's very social. So lots of events, lots of partnership, lots of meetings, lots of things that I do with others. So something that I do for myself is like decompress. At the end of the day, I'm a little bit of an introvert. So I need that alone time to recharge. So I really appreciate spending my alone time in my apartment, decompress, debrief, not seeing friends, not seeing colleagues. I really need that time to reset and to energize. So then a good night of sleep, Rita, like you just mentioned that. So for me, it's fundamental and it's essential. So when I don't sleep enough, I feel like
Mm-hmm.
being a different person. So my brain gets tired, I become a little bit more harder for me to focus. So and take good decisions. So a good night of sleep is fundamental for my self-care, absolutely. And then, I mean, we were mentioning before, like sometimes I need to take some step back and reflect about the big picture. So it's a lot, my work is a lot of like problem solving, many problem happening on a daily basis. How do I resolve this issue? How do I resolve this other issue? But sometimes I really need to step back and see more about the big picture that is in front of me. And that one really helps me to focus less on the day-to-day problematic that can feel a little bit overwhelming, and more see the picture of my project in the future, and see how I want this project to become, and then help my brain to reset, to calm down, and understanding that those little problems to resolve are just problems of today, that they will not be problem for the future.
Yes. And, Mara, I'm with you with the resetting and the sleep. And if you want to hear a little science, when we sleep, because I'm a bit of a nerd, when we sleep and we get into those deep REM sleep, that's when the body heals, right? That's when the body's actually, it's called the lymphatic. So we have the lymphatic, which is the body's way of
Mm-hmm.
getting rid of waste. The brain has its own lymphatic, which is called the glymphatic, and it only happens when you're sleeping. So when you're sleeping, you're getting rid of all of the garbage, let's say, right? That's needed to, like, a byproduct of the different processes that the brain goes through. So when you don't sleep, of course you're not going to feel focused. Of course you're not going to feel like you're on your A game for sure, because you haven't gone through that self-cleaning process that happens only when we sleep. And I have to say that most of us need about 8 hours, because we need as many REM cycles as possible to get rid of that junk, right? I wouldn't say
Yeah.
junk, just to get rid of this byproduct that we have. So
They said
yeah.
especially women needs a little bit more of sleep compared to men, and it's based on the fact that we also have a constantly upside down of hormones. So like our body gets much more of that level of fatigue. So
Mm-hmm.
especially as a women, we need more rest
Yeah.
also to balance that hormone
Yes.
inflation and deflation that we face every day.
Exactly. So yeah, I'm glad you said sleep, because it is overlooked, and people still have this, that I'll sleep when I die, I'll catch up on weekends. Doesn't
No,
work
no,
that
no,
way.
no.
It doesn't work that way. You
Nada.
need to see. We actually went, and I don't know about you, but I feel this every time I don't sleep enough. I actually eat more and I crave more junk,
Yes, yes.
and we actually eat like 500 calories more than if we would have had a good night's sleep. So not only does it affect us mentally, but also like physically, because we want more calories, right? To make up for that lost sleep. So I'm glad you said that. Thank you. So, this is a question that I had no idea I was going to ask on this podcast, but through some conversations with previous guests, I found, and other women as well, just in general, I found that it was very critical to ask. So, it's about embracing the masculine and feminine energies. So, being a leader, being in a director role, there were certain masculine energies that you needed to adopt to actually come where you are now. And I actually went through this myself, that when I was in Dubai I had my own business in Dubai, and I was running more from a masculine energy for sure. I mean, to the point where I was dressing more like masculine, more suits, not as many girly things. And it was also a bit of the culture in the Middle East as well, just to be taken
Yeah.
seriously too. But then when I came back, and that's why I came back to help my mom with her health issues, my health issues, I was more in this sort of nurturing energy. And can I tell you, I was like, this feels amazing. It was much more aligned. Now, not to say that women don't need the masculine energy. We definitely do. That's the doing, the implementing, right? But the nurturing came a lot more for me. It was embraced more. And I just felt it didn't feel as forced. And so now I'm able to, navigate between two. So just as a question, did you feel does this, you're smiling. So is this any of this resonating, and what do you have to share about that?
You're right. It's an interesting question that really makes you think a lot about who you are, and this, well, we speak a lot about masculine energy, feminine energy, without not even knowing what does it mean, a masculine energy, and what is a feminine energy. So I remember the early in my career, I probably tried to mimic the leadership style that I saw around me. So, which were often, of course, male leaders. That, of course, like I admire and appreciate it. Like, it's not that is that type of leadership that I don't like. I appreciate it, I like and admire those men. And I thought that that type of leadership, that type of model was the one that I needed to follow to be taken seriously, as you just said about Dubai. So you need to follow that kind of masculine energy for other people to consider you as a leader. But then, like later, like I attended like a very, very interesting course in Banff called Building Your Personal Leadership. And they were really able to shift my perspective about this topic. So they made me realize that leadership is not about masculine or feminine energy, it's more about being authentic with yourself. So what is your personality, and what is your personal leadership style? So you need to understand, first of all, like yourself. And
Mm-hmm.
once you do understand yourself, your strength and your weakness, you can then build your leadership style. So I can have a pretty similar leadership style of another man, or another man can have my similar leadership style as I have, because it's all about who you are more than like your gender and the gender that you are carrying with you. So for me, really, I was able to understand that I'm a person that loves collaboration, that loves listening, creating environment where people feel more like comfortable in contributing with ideas, in bringing their ideas. Like I love that kind of like collaborating kind of environment. And based on what I like and who I am, then I built my leadership style. That I don't know if that can be considered more like a feminine leadership style. I think that I love to say it's my own leadership style based on who I am, not just as a female, but as a Mara, as a person, the person that I
Yeah.
am right now.
That is an excellent point, and I love that because authentic leadership trumps any other type of leadership because people feel that authenticity too, right? And they're attracted to it, and they follow it, and they admire it. So that is a really nice way. Now, no one's answered this question that way, so thank you
Oh,
for
well, I'm
enlightening.
glad.
Yeah, for enlightening us in that way. So I really appreciate it. So.
I
Mhm.
actually highly suggest those to look at the Banff. In Banff, they have it's called Center for Leadership and Creativity, if I'm not wrong. They've changed their name throughout the years, so now it's called in a different way. But they really help future leader to understand how to build the leadership skill. Is fundamental. Otherwise, we are keep mimicking the people that are around us. That is not wrong. They might be fantastic leaders, but they are not our leadership style. So it really helps to understand who you are and who you want to become. Highly
Mhm.
recommended.
Thank you. Thank you for sure. So, what's one rule that you've joyfully broken on your way to where you are now? And I'm feeling, yeah, there is one or two.
I have a few. I have a few. I think so. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with rules, planning, rigidity. I'm obsessed with all of this. So I like it's something that I really loved. So I have in my early career, I thought that to build something that was working, this something should be extremely structured. So, but working especially in a cultural environment, in a not-for-profit, I have to destroy the rules. So I had to destroy the rules that everything was supposed to be perfect and everything was supposed to be extremely organized and follow step by step every single rule. So I really had to to break that part of my identity and embracing more the creativity, flexibility, embracing more than unexpected. Because at the end of the day, is the balancing between rules and creativity that creates something beautiful. So as we were saying before, like the pandemic and
Yeah.
following the rules in that specific way was probably not allowing me to be more creative and thinking of a different way to embrace my career and my work. So yeah, have to break my rigidity. If I have to show it like in one sentence, I needed to be less rigid and be more like creative and flexible. But it's still a battle. Like sometimes my brain always going, oh, what should I do? Oh, those are so many rules. Like I wanna enforce those steps, and then no, I need to slow down, breathe a little bit, and understand that embracing the unexpected is 100% acceptable. Actually, give you some opportunity to really create something unique and creative.
That's so true. I love that. That's a beautiful, beautiful tip for sure. Especially because I do find that a lot of women, my clients too, they're very a lot more rigid. And even I'll give you a very silly, quick example of when they first get married and they live together with their partner, and their partner's not doing the dishes, for example, or the laundry like the way she wants. She's used to it. And I just advise, let him do it his way. Let him do it or let it do it, the way he wants,
Yes.
because then it's going to be too late if you keep doing it. And then you're going to ask the person 10, 15 years from now, oh, you never helped folding the laundry. So the letting go of that, it needs to be this way. And that's a silly example, but in terms of just everything. And a lot of women that I come across, they do this with their kids as well. So they pass on that rigidity and that perfectionism at the end of the day, and
Sure.
that we're talking in the corporate world too. And it is through that flexibility within, obviously, safe, like you said, what you did with COVID. It is that's when that creativity will spark, because ideas that probably you wouldn't even have thought of, you are coming up because you were constricted to do it within that way, right? So I think it's a beautiful way to position it for
You
sure.
said something right. My mom is keep telling me that she hoped she was less rigid even in the education of her child. Like, she was so obsessed with oh, the meal needs to be perfect, it needs to be the right balance, spending a lot of time in cooking the perfect meal, the perfect nutrition meal, or the perfect type of education. Then nowadays she say, you know what, I would have loved to step back and say, I don't care if one time you don't have vegetable on your plate, but maybe I spend a little bit more time playing with you.
Oh,
So unfortunately, as a woman, sometimes we are obsessed with perfection,
mm,
and we really need to step back and say, if it's not perfect, it's fine anyway.
yes,
Nobody's gonna die.
yes,
if
exactly.
if the laundry is not as is folded as I want, that's completely fine. But on the other side, I didn't argue with my partner. I got a
Right?
little bit of help. I was able to
Hmm.
relax a little bit more. So we really need to love ourselves a little bit more and being less rigid with ourselves and allow a little bit more I don't care space in our brain.
It's so true. I like that. We should do a campaign. I
Yeah,
don't care.
I don't care.
So, in terms of what is a piece of advice that you'd give a high performing woman about how to cultivate that resilience? This is something that you've demonstrated for sure throughout your career, especially during these times of uncertainty and some challenges too. How can they do that?
Well, it's very much connected to what we just said. Like when we deeply care about something, we think that everything it's on us, that we do own the full responsibility of what is happening, and that we need to carry all the weight on our shoulder. So um, I think that a strong I'm saying leadership, but in general, even if it's we're talking about leadership at home or
Yes.
leadership in the office,
Mhm.
is more like choosing the right people around you and trusting them. So
Mm,
in a work environment, I would say let's remove some weight from our shoulder and trust in the people that we are working with to share that type of responsibility. You might still, of course, the the main person that they will definitely go if there is any problem, or of course the responsibility is still on us in making sure that everything is working, but sharing that kind of workload is
mm,
fundamental.
I
and
agree.
and also learning that it's fine to do baby step, little step at a time. Sometimes we always look at people around us and we want to be as successful as they are. We want to reach that level of success like immediately. I think sometimes we need to, as a high performing woman, we always think, oh, I should do more. I need to do more. Or that person is better than me. They achieve things faster than me. So I want to be that person. I think that we really need to accept the fact that the growth will arrive and will happen one step at the time, as long as we do believe that grow and we will achieve that goal, but doing our own time and with our baby step is fundamental. Like
Yes.
reaching that
Yeah.
point. Yeah,
I love it. I just read something the other day. Baby steps are still, remember that baby steps are still moving you forward,
correct.
right?
Yeah,
As long as we're moving, even if it's a small step today, a bigger step tomorrow, and an even bigger step the next week. And then we go back to small steps. Like this, just that cultivating that movement wherever it is. Yeah.
and we're
Thank
always
you.
trying to like look at other people and say, oh, that person is more successful than myself. But you don't know where they're coming from or where you
Yes.
are coming from. Your journey is absolutely different from their journey.
Yeah.
So it's important that although we want to reach that goal as fast as possible, because I'm one of those people, like I wanna have everything tomorrow, not like right now. I need to
Yeah.
understand that doing things
Hmm.
one step at a time is what also create that foundation.
Yes.
We're not creating like a castle immediately that then can be destroyed like in 1 hour. So it's important that you build this slowly based on your own necessity and your own on your own journey. All of us has a different journey. So
Yes, I like that. I like that because you're right. We don't know where that person started from, right?
yeah,
Where we know where they are at right now, but we have no idea where they started from. So it could be so unachievable because you didn't do the same journey as they are
correct.
to think
Yeah,
that you can get there. So yeah, and I'm with you on I'm the same way. I wanted it yesterday, actually. I'm like, I'm so ready, but part of it is actually, are you ready for it? Because some of us, even like at a subconscious level, we're stopping ourselves from achieving higher levels of success because we're not ready to receive it. So doing some work on accepting that, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready for this. Because sometimes you think you might be ready, but you're kind of holding yourself back, you
correct.
know?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
just being prepared. And it's those moments of just practice, and just like getting used to where you want to be, interacting with people, networking. Like, how important is your
yeah.
network?
Fundamental, fundamental. Yes.
Yes, yes. And what are some tips on networking and how you've been successful at it? I mean, your job, that's all it is, really.
It's all yes,
That's all it
absolutely. It's all
is.
it is. It's all it is.
Yes.
Well, for example, like yesterday, I attended a very interesting panel discussion from organized by an organization called WISE, that is Women in Sports event. Very interesting. So they really help you connect with other women. They might went through somehow your same kind of journey. Attending those panel discussion where, well, the one from yesterday was about the four executive directors that are now involved with the FIFA World Cup coming to Toronto, their experience, what it means being part of their role, of their organization. So it's very inspiring. So what I would suggest is definitely there are tons of organizations in Toronto that do organize that type of networking. It doesn't have to be women related only. Yeah, like the one from yesterday was just a coincidence. That was focusing on networking for women, but there are so many organizations that it's important to find the one that really speaks to you the most. They could be about the topic, they could be about the career, they could be about your, like, I don't know, how you like to enjoy your free time. But it's fundamental to really get outside your network and enlarging the yeah, enlarging your ability to know, to get to know others. But then it's very important for your private life. You might gonna meet a new best friend, or could be on
That's
your
true.
career path. Like you never know. So it's very important, like to really spend some times of your free time to get to know other in this type of environments.
And a lot of these network events are online too, so you don't have to
Oh
go
yeah,
anywhere. You can
yes.
just button on your
Although the
computer.
in-person one, I'm a fan
Yes,
of in-person one. There is more
of course.
that
Yeah, of course.
connection that it could build only if you see face by face somebody.
Yes. Oh, that World Cup sounded amazing. I would have totally been there. So hopefully next time. Yes. I'd like to get more details offline about that.
Yes.
So, Mara, what legacy do you hope to leave to the next generation of women leaders?
Ah, that's a very it's not an easy question to answer. I mean, when I think about legacy, yeah, I don't think about something personal. It's more like what I hope that, let's say, my team have learned in working for me. Um, I hope that they will carry on that type of leadership that is more not too much focused on themselves, but more about understanding teamwork and collaboration and supporting others.
Mhm.
So I really hope that they can carry on that kind of mindset, that what we do is for, like, a community benefit that could be for the community outside our office, but also what we bring into the table inside our office. I'm very into let's have lunch together in the office. So for me, that is a moment that is fundamental part of building my team, and I hope that they understand that that time is not wasted, but is a way to understand to who are you working with, spending some time with your colleague, having lunch with them, and building that kind of passion that really creates that sense of community and teamwork. That is fundamental when you're working in your family environment with your friends. For me, collaboration is fundamental.
So true. You can't do it alone. That's for
Nope,
sure. Yeah.
no, you
You seem
can.
like a great boss. I want to work for you. Amazing, amazing. So we are going to get a little personal here. So
Okay,
if you could have lunch with any woman, past or present, so she's
okay.
living or she's passed, who would it be and why?
Wow. I mean, there are many, many interesting women that I would love to have lunch with, but if I need to pick just one, I don't know if you are familiar with her. I don't know how much she's popular outside of Italy, but there is a very extraordinary, like, Italian science and Nobel Prize. Her name is Rita Levi Montalcini. She won the Nobel Prize for groundbreaking discovering. Despite the many obstacles that she had to face. She passed away, so that's mean that we're talking about somebody that was probably the only female at the table when many with the science were just like a male topic.
Right.
So
Yeah. Wow.
she was very resilient. Like, I really highly recommend everybody to dig a little bit more about her life and her personality. She continued working like until the end of her life, trying to inspire others, talking about science. So I really want to sit at the table with her and chatting and have like something to eat together and just understanding how did you do that? Like how were you
Yeah.
able to break into a science world that was like for many, many, many years just male oriented. So I would be very curious to know how she did that.
Yeah, it sounds amazing. It is. It is very admirable. What women are doing today, but even more admirable what a
What they
lot of
did.
women in the past, right? To really break through some of those barriers. So yeah, sorry, her name is Rita
Rita Levi Montalcini.
Montalcini. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna look her up as well. Thank you.
She was full of energy. If you heard some of her interview, wow.
Amazing, amazing. So, Mara, if you could give yourself, your younger self, a
Hmm.
piece of advice, one piece of advice, what would it be? And you can choose which age you want to go back to.
I would say that that I would give the same piece of advice to myself when I was 8, 13, 15, and yesterday. Mara, don't panic. Like, like I would just say, like, breathe and don't panic. Like, everything everything is possible. You just need to believe in yourself. Just put yourself in the mindset that everything that you want to achieve is achievable. So don't discourage, don't panic. Just believe in what you want to achieve, and it's going to happen 100%. Like, I keep doing the same mistake. Even nowadays, I will be like, oh my God, I will never achieve what I want to achieve. It's like, no, you can. You achieve so many things until now. There is no way that you won't be able to achieve whatever you want to achieve in 10 years from now. So just like believe in yourself, and don't overthink. That is my
Mm,
piece of advice to myself.
I love it. Wow. Mic drop. That was amazing. It's funny. I just left a WhatsApp message to my friend who's having some second thoughts about like which way to bring her business. And I was like, no, girl, you just to see achieved so much. So take that successful track record
Mhm.
and put that in the forefront because we forget, right? We forget a lot of the things we achieve. We put it behind us and we don't,
Yes,
oftentimes, especially when you're at a leadership level, like who's really coming up to you and saying, good job, right? Like, so it's got to be us. We got to get reminded, right? To celebrate those, to keep celebrating those successes. And those are reminders to
I agree
believe
with
that,
you
yeah,
100%.
that anything is possible for sure. So, Mara, what does success mean to you at this stage of your life and career?
Hmm. What it means success.
Mm,
Mm, I think that for me, at this stage, I wanna create something that is sustainable in the future, in the sense that I wanna build something that it will keep growing and being alive after me. That could be after me when I will not be anymore in this world, or after me if I wanna change the career path. I feel like for me would be successful seeing my organization keep growing even though I'm not there. Unfortunately, sometimes we saw it in the industry in the past, in the history, many leaders that said, oh, if it's not with me, I don't care if my organization keep growing because I want to have that organization attached to my name. In my case, my success will be I've created something that is sustainable. I'm creating something that my team can work for, that people who still love, even if have decided one day to change career path or I'm not going to be here anymore. But creating something that I did start and will stay forever in the city of Toronto.
Beautiful. And I definitely believe that you're well on your way to doing something like that for sure.
I hope so.
So, what is next on your bucket list, Mara? And you can pick either personal or professional. So, immediately, what's next? And then
Okay.
maybe in the future, like 10 years from now, what are you anticipating or what do you want to achieve?
Well, In the immediate future, I would love the festival to see the festival growing more in the type of activity that we offer, growing more in the type of collaboration that we build, in the how many people knows about us, how many people ever came to our festival. So that one is more like my goal in the immediate future, my bucket list in the immediate future. On a personal level, I would love to go back to school again, in the sense that after my MBA, my dream is to go to the Rotman School here in Toronto. And there is a program that I really love. It's about governance, uh, because I would love one day to get into some very important board of directors. So it's something that I'm really passionate about. I love governance. So it's something that I really hope one day I could achieve. And since we also said that it's important to work on our personal level, I would love to have a little bit more time for myself and maybe experience more, like traveling more, maybe building a family finally. And so lots of things on the plate, lots of things on the plate that I hope one day I can achieve. It's a big bucket list, but I hope that traveling, family, studying, growing the organization, lots of things that I don't know how to balance together, but that is definitely my bucket list for sure.
Yes. And definitely have some sort of loose plan around it, not being too rigid, as we said earlier,
Yes, exactly.
but having some sort of plan, within 2, 3
Yes,
years and all of that, because God listens, the universe, whoever you believe in, like that, you're putting it out there, right? You're
yeah,
connecting with that potential. And so, yes, that's what I found as well, is having a loose plan for sure.
yeah.
Yes. Okay. So here's some fun rapid fire questions. So kind of whatever comes to mind. No, you don't have to overthink. So one word to describe you as a leader.
Collaborative.
I was going to say that. I guess that. If your leadership style were a dance move, what would it be? And you don't have to describe the dance move. I mean, sorry, you don't have to actually say the dance move. You could even just describe it. But what would it be?
I think it would be like a tango. Tango. How do you say in English?
Yeah, tango, tango. Oh, I say
Because
tango.
it's more like very structured but passionate at the same time. So I would say that one really describe it's my dance. Yeah, my leadership style. Absolutely.
Do you dance tango?
No, I don't. I'm terrible
Okay.
at horrible dancer.
Oh, that's so funny. That's funny. So, morning person or night owl?
Night owl, 100%. Don't make me wake up early. No, no, no.
And make sure you get your 8 hours, right?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
coffee, tea, or something else. Now I can even guess this one.
Coffee. I'm an Italian. My Italian like DNA. I cannot say something that is not coffee.
It's so funny because I love my coffee, but I have one a day. And because I know I won't sleep. And here's my little the nerdy tip of the day. 50% of the caffeine is still in you 7 hours after you ingest it.
Oh, wow.
Exactly. I know, right? So when you sometimes ignorance is bliss because when you know too much, you're like, even though I'm smelling the espresso. But did you hear there is the I don't know if you saw it, it's circling on social media, the Italian baseball team, they have like an espresso machine in the dugout.
I don't know.
When they hit a home run, like the celebratory drink, they okay, have an espresso. It's so funny.
Wow.
It's so part of our culture. And then when I ask like my family, do you want a tea? They're like, why would I want a tea?
Wow.
What am I sick?
Am I
I
British?
don't. So yeah, I could have guessed that you were going to say that espresso. All right. Mountains or oceans?
Oceans. I love the sounds of waves. Ocean, 100%.
Pizza or pasta?
Pizza, 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 pizza. I love pizza.
So if you were a kitchen appliance, which one would you be and why?
This is a funny question. Uh, I think a pressure cooker. Like I love working under pressure. And whatever you put inside a pressure cooker at the end of the day comes out delicious. So pressure cooker, I would say.
I love it. You're the first person that said that. I've had a lot of
Yeah.
blenders. Yes, a lot of blenders. That was what, and stoves, but yeah, pressure cooker.
Okay.
So, what's your oddly specific superpower, Mara? Like always finding the best parking spot or picking the fastest grocery line?
I think, I mean, working an event industry, I would say I'm able to resolve 5 minutes before like a crisis, something that then the audience will not even notice. So 5 minutes before the event, it could be that everything might collapse, but I'm able 5 minutes before that moment that the audience will notice nothing, nothing. So
Wow,
that is the
amazing.
superpower.
Yes, I love that. I actually just emceed an event. And when I introduced the guest, she went to the washroom. And I was like, okay, so now what do we do? I know. And I had no idea because I introduced her and they're like, oh, she's not ready. I'm like, okay. And then in my head, I was supposed to say it in my head, but I actually said it out loud. I was like, okay, what do we do now? And then I started just like conversing and engaging with the public, with the audience. And it went beautifully. And no
You
one
see,
even,
nobody
yes,
noticed. Maybe you might die inside, but you're like,
yeah.
as long as nobody noticed that.
Exactly. So
Yes.
I get you. I get you. So if you could instantly master one skill, just
Mhm.
like that, what would it be for you?
I think confidence. I think it's such a fundamental skill that confidence, I'll say confidence. So that is,
Okay.
as long as you're confident, you can achieve everything in the world.
It's so true. It's so true. But do you think we're born confident? I don't, right? Like I think it's something you achieve through time
I
and
think it's something that you
doing.
achieve through time.
Yeah.
When you see that you are capable, then you build your own confidence. And but you also need to believe in
Yes.
yourself and being confident. Like, of course, some reinforcement from the outside that will make you feel okay. I did that, so and your confidence
Mhm.
level will a little bit grow inside you. But you also need to believe in yourself and being a confident person, and then everything is achievable.
Yes, I agree. I agree. And confidence is something that we also get from our mistakes, learning from our
Yes,
mistakes. And so I think the more you go out there and you do what you want to do and maybe screw up or maybe make a mistake or maybe fail, but it just becomes part
it's
of
part of the game.
yeah, exactly. It's part of that confidence game. I do have to say that unfortunately, women have a tougher time because there's a statistic. Because my background previously to this wellness world was in human resources. So there's a statistic that men will actually apply for jobs they're underqualified for. They'll apply, but women will actually apply more for jobs that they're overqualified for, and that speaks to the confidence level, right? So there, I
Wow.
know, I know it's some, I know, and even interviewing some of the candidates, I was like, you shouldn't even be here, like that's why pre-screening is so important. But yes, yeah, so I think that confidence is something that definitely, as women, we should embrace more for sure. Find ways to build that confidence in any aspect of a life, because how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if you build that confidence, even in dancing, getting dancing lessons to dance more, or just that confidence will definitely transfer to other areas of your life. So that's for
Okay.
sure.
Then I will
Literally.
start. I will start dancing. Come.
Yes, come to salsa. I want to do salsa, like merengue. Like I
I'm
definitely
so
want to,
terrible. A
because I'm like,
terrible
I
dancer.
I love electronic music, but I'm like, I can't be dancing this electronic music like for the rest of my life. But I could do salsa for the rest of my life. I can do merengue. I can do whatever, bachata, it's for sure. So, Mara, if you could gift every woman listening one thing, tangible or not, so think of Oprah, you get a car, you get a car, you get a car, right? What would it be for you? What would you gift this woman's
Um,
listening or watching
a
this?
good gift. Then, based on what you just said, confidence, because I would love to give some confidence to the woman so that they will apply for a job that uh, that are based on their qualification, 100%. And an object. You also asking me an object? Hmm.
No, if it's up to you, either tangible or not. But if you want to do both.
a passport to travel the world, because the more you travel the world, the more, I mean, all of us has a password, but in a more metaphoric way, like use that passport, travel the world, discover other culture, other community. And that is, it's so beautiful. I love traveling. So an opportunity for every woman to travel more and discover more themselves and the others.
Yes. Oh, that's so beautiful. Where's are you planning on a trip somewhere?
Haven't planned it yet, but in my bucket list there is like Thailand and
Yeah.
Philippines since forever. So there is always never the right time to go
Yeah.
because of the season. I can travel mainly in August and September. It's a wet and rainy season
Yeah.
in the
Typhoon
Philippines.
season. You don't
Yes.
want to go.
So there is never the right moment for me to go, but that is definitely my bucket list.
Yeah, so beautiful. I've been to 37 countries and counting. So you're talking to the girl that thinks, yeah, yes, for sure. Traveling has built so
Yeah.
much experience for me and just so much appreciation for how people do it differently. And to the point where it's like, some of us here are not doing it right. We're like, we're living to work. Some other countries and some other people are definitely doing it right. So yes, I think the traveling is such a beautiful eye opener for sure. Yes. This has been so beautiful. Like, I loved your energy. I love what you're doing. I love the festival and beyond. The way you're talking about your team and just like you're really embodying such a wonderful, wonderful energy, and it's showing, for sure. So I just want to thank you for saying yes
But thank you
to
for
this.
having me, actually.
Yeah, to this podcast, and I am so grateful that our paths have crossed, and just keep doing what you're doing, and because that passion, and that mission, and just the purpose, it's really showing, and you're definitely going to leave a beautiful legacy behind. You are doing so, yeah. So thank you
Thank
so
you,
much
Rita.
for
Thank
grazie
you.
mille.
Grazie a
So,
te, grazie a tutti. Grazie.
ciao, a presto, ciao ciao.
Ciao.
Thank you for joining us on Uplift Her Leadership Series, a special segment of the Self Care Goddess podcast. If this conversation lit something up in you, please share it with a fellow changemaker, and let's keep building a new model of leadership together. Follow me on ritasavoya.com and stay connected for more conversations that blend well-being, wisdom, and bold feminine leadership. Until next time, breathe mindfully, live intentionally, thrive gracefully, and remember, self-care is your superpower. Ciao for now.